Alrighty. Thanks everyone for joining. It looks like we have a little bit of a small crew today, so that's all good. We'll be able to go in a little bit more in depth on some of the stuff that we've been working on, and I can share maybe even a bit more. So that'll be fun to go over. So like always, if you have questions, please feel free to put it in the chat or wait until the QA session, and then we'll get to it during then. Without further ado, I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna go over an exclusive preview of the new SaaS Configurator, which is how you create your subscription products and sell AI agents to your customers. We've been working a lot on the updates around this module and how to take things further with white labeling. So super excited to share this with you guys. Alrighty. So right off the bat, I'm sure you can see that there's now multiple different billing options: monthly, quarterly, yearly. This is one of the things that a lot of people have been asking for quite a while. So it's now ready and it's going to be out very shortly. But essentially what the SaaS Configurator does, if you're not aware, is how you can create your subscription packages to sell AI agents with different things to different people, depending on the different offer that you want to make. Now, the SaaS Configurator allows for a lot more customization and control over those different packages that you sell to your customers. So for example, I'm going to go in and edit a package, and we can see that there's a lot of new options where we can control and modify each different subscription package. Just like before, we can give it a name, we can assign it a different tier. The tier is the different tiers that your subscribers or your sub accounts would see in your dashboard, the 1, 2, 3 options, the amount of AI agents that you would like them to have, and finally the amount of storage and characters. And this is going to be something that we go over a little bit more in a minute, but storage essentially is the amount of information and that can be uploaded into a knowledge base. And this is something that you'll be getting as an agency as well as your sub accounts. And this is an additional item that you can actually upsell, and I'll go over that more in a minute. But this is the base amount of storage that a customer would get. And what we typically recommend is a ballpark average of around 1 million characters per AI agent to start. And that usually will give a good amount, more than enough data usually to get things going there. So that's a brief overview of what storage and characters are. Similarly to what you have now, you can update the package description, which is just the information as well as the different features, and that's what gets shown up here in these sections right here. So you can edit all of those as you'd like. We move into the pricing tab. This is where you can set up the different pricing options for this specific package. So if you wanted to offer a monthly option at $99 a month, you could offer a quarterly at a different price per quarter, and alternatively a yearly option that would charge per year. And so these will all individually create individual package links. The reason why is this is not a white labeled account, but there would be a link here that shows the link that you could link to your website page or package, so people could click on that page or click on that package and purchase one of these packages directly. And all of these 3 prices for this specific plan, and you can do this for all of your different plans. So this allows you to create lots of different options for offers and billing opportunities for different types of clients that may want maybe a discount for a quarterly or yearly option. Moving right along, we've got features, which is basically permissions. So now when a user signs up, you can restrict certain permissions if you so choose. So for example, if you wanted the basic tier to not include some advanced functionality like maybe accessing leads or scheduling or potentially even editing or customizing the chatbot itself, you could turn off accessing the actual settings. And this would enable the user to be able to just use the bot and not able to edit it. And that allows you to, again, make differences in your subscription offers and tiers to where maybe one has not as much functionality and the higher tier could have more functionality. Trials and credits. This is a new section, and this is essentially credit card required free trials. And there's also another section, which I'll mention in a few minutes, which allows for non-credit card free trials. But this is something that if you're familiar with how Stripe works, this is how Stripe sets up their free trials. So if you created a subscription package and you were to activate a trial period of a certain amount of days, and then you clicked save and send this package link to one of your customers, they would click on that link. It would bring them to a Stripe checkout page message for your white label agency, and they would see that they would put in their credit card, but they would not be charged for 3 days in this example. After the 3 days, their credit card would automatically be charged whatever pricing link that they have clicked on in the first place. And this is completely optional. So you don't have to put this on. This can be completely optional. And then finally, there's a wallet balance complimentary credit. So this is very similar to the complimentary credit that you are giving or potentially giving to users right now. But now you have the option to change it from a one-time or a recurring. So again, more customization options for you to control however you'd like your plans to be. And then finally, rebilling, which is how you're going to set the cost and profit of your AI messages being sent. Now, this is brings us to touching on a larger piece of an update that we're going to be releasing soon as well. But essentially, we're going to be dropping the cost of AI messages by about 40%. So the cost is going to be a static cost rather than variable based off of your subscription and how many credits you buy. We realized like a lot of people were paying quite a lot for sending AI messages. So we're going to reduce that by about 40% to these costs. And then we're also going to be adding a option to allow you to bring your own API key, which actually avoids this cost altogether and bills directly to OpenAI. And that's going to be on one of our new full SaaS mode plans that we release in a couple weeks. And that will be kind of the highest tier, most powerful option of Stammer because you can basically essentially set your own profit margin per message. And when you have your API key enabled, that can be a lot less cost or potentially more depending on what you're doing with your agents. But in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be a lot cheaper. So this is what your clients would see when they sign up and they are going to purchase. This is the amount that they would pay for their messages. And this can be all plan specific. So each plan that you have can have a different price if you'd like, or they can all be the same. The goal of this big update is to give as much control over your subscription packages that you guys want to create in the way that you want to create them, and not having us provide any restrictions on that. So last thing I want to mention is the free trial settings. So this is if you are, so we're updating all white labeling is going to be together. So you have all of your white label free trials coming through these settings. Basically, there is a free trial amount of days here as well as complimentary credits. So again, you have the options to either do a usage-based free trial, or you could do a time-based free trial. You could have a credit card required free trial or a non-credit card required free trial. There's lots of different options for you to choose from now, basically. Dwayne, I can see the gears turning. Any questions that you might have?
I do have a question. As I mentioned last week or the week before, I'm thinking of offering Stammer as white label Stammer as part of a package that would include other things. So I like the ability, obviously, everything that you showed, I really like that. Is there a way that I can, in effect, enable the use of these various packages, but disable them from sort of the site of the person who's using the dashboard at the client end, if you see what I'm saying? So I don't want them to see, anything about pricing specific to just Stammer. Because if I have 4 pieces in the package, this and 3 other things that I'll do.
Yeah.
What I want is I don't want to make it easy for them to compare apples and apples. I want them to have this nebulous idea or not even think about it directly at all. I don't want them to go, well, shit, that guy's charging me $200 for a chat bot. I want them to look at the package and go, oh, it's $9.95 for all 4 of these things.
Yeah.
So that's the question that came to mind.
Got it. Are you going to be doing that through Stammer, or are you creating a larger package?
That's what I'm thinking is a larger package that would be through something like, Zoho CRM, for example, or Go High Level or something where there's the ability to charge through that. So just ability to sort of turn off the charge thing up front so they don't see that, a subscription related anything up front, but still be able to possibly behind the scenes if I want to. And I'm just riffing right now on that because I didn't look obviously closely enough at those options as you were showing them to see, oh, I would want to turn that on. I wouldn't want to turn that on. If that's the only place where I can turn those things things on and off, if then that means that I'm going to have that subscription option link somewhere in there regardless, they're going to be able to click it. Now, granted, I could make the price just astronomical and, use it to my advantage. So that just came to mind, that I could make it so, wow, they're including a $500 chatbot. But if on the other hand, they could go, oh my God, even if they're including a chat, they're overcharging by $1 million for a chatbot. So now I know they're screwing me on, whatever else they're offering.
So how about this? And what if you could create a package and then not show it to your customers? Okay, perfect. Yep. And we actually kind of have something for that.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have other people doing something similar where they're doing other things or including other things into a larger monthly package. So we're trying to help facilitate that as well, to make it easy, so that way you don't have to do a lot of create your login here, but then exactly, also create your login here.
Yeah, well, in fact, my wife, who's sitting here in the room with me as well, she's like, could you possibly make it so there's a master dashboard that somebody can log into, and behind the scenes it would know to send them over to Stammer or send them over to, XYZ or whatever. And I said, boy, that's well beyond my knowledge. Maybe there's some way that I could have somebody make it on Upwork or, whatever, but I sure as hell don't know how to do that.
I mean, yeah, if anybody has questions, please feel free to put it in the chat. But just thinking on that, you might be able to make just a landing page that has maybe like 4 quadrant buttons. And then it's just like,
that's what I was thinking of already, just using in, Word, some sort of menu maker, and just bring them to one page and then have, are you, going to manage your, your chatbot, or are you going to manage your Google business profile or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well, yeah, then I guess I'll just keep showing you some more stuff unless you have more questions.
I have an unrelated one, so I'll save that for the end.
Okay. Seong, if you have a question, please feel free to speak up or put it in the chat, or if you're just hanging out, thanks for joining. So the add-ons is one of the things that didn't really mention, but the add-ons is how you can additional functionality outside of what your base subscription might be. So for example, if you create a plan, and let's say that plan includes 100,000 characters of storage, which could be maybe a couple websites or a couple long PDF pages of documentation. And if that client wants to purchase more storage, they can. And so now you can basically set the amount that you want to pay your clients to pay for that storage. For agencies, it's going to be $5 a month for 1 million characters of storage. And you can basically upsell that for as much as you'd like. We're going to basically recommend we're defaulting it to be a 2x margin as a base. This is how people can, if your client wants to scrape Wikipedia, you can tell them, yeah, you can, but it's going to cost you. And then similarly, AI agents, same exact thing. Basically, if they want more AI agents in their package, they can purchase additional ones. And on the new full SaaS mode, it will be unlimited AI agents included. So there won't be any additional costs. It'll just be however much you charge your clients. Just hanging out. I like the new setup. I exactly need the new restriction feature of sub account level for my new rollout. Yeah, perfect. Cool. I'm just gonna keep going. So Dwayne, please just if you have any things, just interrupt me.
You can count on it.
Perfect. So like I said, for these are gonna be our new plans. So everybody that's on your existing plan, your existing pricing, nothing's gonna change. Everything will stay the exact same. Your pricing will stay the exact same. Everything's gonna stay the exact same. If you'd like to upgrade or change to any one of these new plans, you can at any time. Or if you don't want to, then you don't have to. One of the reasons why a lot of people might want to upgrade to the new full SaaS mode is it includes the ability to bring your own OpenAI API key. And that looks like this. So this is going to be the vault. And this is where you can take your OpenAI API key, you can paste it in here, it will get encrypted. And then this now is used to run all of the AI responses, all of the training data, anything that was used by OpenAI is now going to be used through this OpenAI API key, which you as the agency have to make sure that you maintain and ensure that you pay for that OpenAI bill. And if you don't, and for whatever reason the API key was to fail, we have the backup, which enables the system to use Stammer's cost per message as a backup.
I do have a question about that. Perry Belcher's group, the Ignite Mastermind, they had something called PubBot, which is what got me interested in chatbots months ago. And one of the things that they did, and it was really hamstrung by a lot of the lack of features, but it was good because it gave me the interest in becoming involved in chatbots. The thing though that they did was they had OpenAI keys. If I remember correctly, I haven't looked at it in a while, but they had OpenAI keys based on if you set up, and I'll use just the term persona for lack of a better term, because I'm certainly not an expert in any of this stuff. But let's say I created, 10 over in custom GPTs over in Chat GPT. And then in theirs, you would bring over, if you had Ted and Stella for all these other chatbots that you were doing for individual clients, if you created those over there, you would have then an OpenAI key for each of those. And then bringing them over to PubBot, you could assign or connect that one particular custom Chat GPT's OpenAI key over to their PubBot platform. And I don't know, I mean, again, I don't know enough about it. If now by virtue of using Stammer, which I like far, far better, or I wouldn't be here, is can I then in effect, and you wouldn't know anything about their PubBot platform, but the stuff that I was doing before that I just gave a really shitty little short explanation of what I understood it to be, could I do that same stuff now within effect, within Stammer when I'm setting up someone's custom chatbot? So all of the stuff that I would have customized and uploaded and all that stuff that I would have done over directly at the OpenAI level, is that stuff now that I can do the exact same here, keep it all local, which I would really like, within Stammer, and then just use my master OpenAI key?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
This is for the power users. So
Okay.
if you're talking in that level, then exactly this is built for you basically.
Which I'm not a power user, but thank you.
Well, I mean, the way that you're taught, the things that you're saying comparatively to the things that other people say, I can just tell you that you are, on the linear scale, you are more on the know what you're talking about side than not.
The way I look at it is, well, I'm less of a dumbass than some, but really stupid by comparison to most. So at least I'm moving the somewhat up the scale. So
being aware of that, is high praise. On a side note, will Stammer be providing quarterly and yearly packages? We will only be providing a monthly option right now for the next couple months. That being said, don't count that out. We might offer a quarterly or a yearly as maybe a sale in the future, but nothing that we're doing in the short term.
just to throw a quick thought in on that, one of the other things that I am working on is newsletters. And Perry's group also had a free newsletter platform, which it also was hamstrung. And I'm not, making fun of what he offered. These were starter things that were offered for free within that mastermind. But it got me interested in newsletters heavily. And Beehive, if you're familiar with Beehive really came out to be the one that I wanted to go with, and I did. Fortunately, I had delayed enough that I delayed last year until the Black Friday timeframe, and Beehive came out with just a killer Black Friday annual pricing that was like, all right, you know what, this is too good to pass up. So I definitely jumped on it.
Exactly.
So, maybe Black Friday is something that you might consider.
We did that last year, and that's probably something we'll probably do something similar this year.
All right.
Cool. Let's see. So the last kind of big thing to tie this together is we're simplifying. You might have already kind of gauged this, but we're simplifying the idea of message credits. Message credits has always been kind of a confusing topic for a lot of some, especially when you're trying to explain it to your clients or your sub accounts, and especially when it's not entirely clear of what you might be paying for a message credit. So in the sense of simplifying everything, we're simplifying our cost per message. And that's what you were seeing earlier when we look here. So this cost per message, GPT-4o will be 2 cents, 4 Turbo will be 5 cents, and 3.5 will be 0.005 cents. And that's only if you're on the starter plan or the agency plan. If you're on the full SaaS mode plan, you'll be using your own API key, and that cost per message will vary depending on the length of the response, the length of the query, the base system prompt length, the conversation history, the amount of data in the knowledge base. There's a lot of information that goes into figuring out what that average cost per message is. And that's something that we can help down the road as we get more data from everyone. But using this as a general cost per message for your clients is also a good ballpark, because that can be a low cost option for them as well. And so this is now all taken out of what's going to be known as the wallet. So where there was message credits and a balance of message credits before, it's now just simplified to a balance of a monetary value for all existing customers, all existing subscribers, all existing sub accounts. Everything will be converted at a 0.003 per message credit. And this is an early preview of what I'm I'm giving you guys an early preview. We haven't announced any of this yet. There hasn't been any documentation or blog posts. So you guys are getting the early previews of all of this right now. So there's going to be lots of information explaining this in extreme detail, and all of that will be out in the coming days. This balance is going to be used to pay for the usage for your sub accounts. And if you're on the agency plan or the full SaaS mode plan, the usage for your clients and your sub accounts will be taken out of your wallet balance. And so this simplifies the process, especially for sub accounts, because now they know what they're paying per month and they know exactly how much they're paying per message. There's no kind of, oh, if you're paying this, then it's that, or this and that. It's very much of a static, this is what it is. So if I go into a sub account view, we can see now there's a wallet balance, there's a storage balance, and there's the amount of AI agents available. So all the things that I would see typically from subscribing to a package. And these are all the things that we were looking over earlier in the SaaS Configurator. The amount of complimentary credit that I get when I sign up as a sub account can be used to pay for all the messages that I'm sending. And so I can go into my usage tab and I can see that every time I was sending a message, it's deducting from the balance. I can see every time I'm adding additional storage or I'm using storage, it's deducting from my balance. And the auto billing sections are updated so that way you and your sub accounts have specific controls over when their credit card or your credit card is being charged. By default, everything will be set to 0. So no one's credit card is going to be charged without them knowing, because I would hate for my credit card to be charged without knowing. So everything is going to be defaulted to 0, but it's recommended that you set it to at least $10, so that way you or your sub accounts never run out of action, basically. And again, if your agency is on the full SaaS mode plan, you don't necessarily need to worry about this because everything is being billed directly through OpenAI.
That's very similar to what Twilio does with their charges, where you get a wallet and you fall below a particular level, and it just lets you know you agreed to be recharged or you're replenished at $20 or lower or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. This is how Twilio does it. This is how GHL does it. This is like the standard of how usage-based billing is moving forward in the market. And we're aligning ourselves with that, not only to simplify things for our agencies and your customers, but also to allow us to add additional functionality to the platform that can be billed directly rather than us having to create some arbitrary complicated system on how to bill for voice or how to bill for imagery or image generation. Like, it's so incredibly complicated to do that. We were like, okay, let's just simplify it and not do that and just bill directly and just do it through dollars or whatever. And so for those of you that are in another area or another country, you'll be able to set your currency. So once you sign up, you'll be able to set the currency, and then that will dictate what all of your client sub accounts see when they log in and see their wallet balance and their subscriptions and all that. So now with this update, the agency will be the agency's credit card will be charged in 2 ways. First is the monthly subscription, which is what you guys are paying for right now. And the second is when you want to increase the balance of your wallet. You can do that manually, or you can do it through this auto billing section. When you need more characters, the amount of money that it costs to get more characters, that amount of money is deducted from your wallet balance. And the same goes for your sub accounts as well. Sub accounts, their credit card is charged when they pay you for their monthly subscription. If they have usage or if they need more storage, all of that will be deducted from their wallet balance. And then when they add money to their wallet, your agency gets 100% of that money. That's a direct Stripe transaction and you're connected. So if I was to go in here and add $100 as a sub account balance, I now have a $100 balance here. And that $100 would show up as income in my agency's Stripe account as $100 as direct income. Stammer does not take any percentage of that. That's 100% goes right to you. And so that allows us to keep everything simplified. And now you can see this is the transaction for $100. That's the one I made. So now everything is tracked. You can see everything from all of your sub accounts. This is also going to allow us to add a bunch of other analytics and things as well on top of this once we get this up and going. So yeah, early preview. I don't want to keep kind of droning on here, but there's going to be lots of good info coming out in the next coming days, videos, documentation, blog posts. Our team will be reaching out to all existing subscribers as well to hop on a meeting with you. So yeah, that's about it.
Okay, I have a couple quick questions.
Please.
One related to the new subscription packages that you teased the preview of, the 49, 197, and 497. Where does the white label documentation get turned on? At the 197 level or only at the 497?
At 197, yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. And then one other question, just completely off topic. If I wanted to still use some sort of pop-up on somebody's website as a lead magnet that just pops up immediately, and I'll use OptiMonk again as the plugin example, is there a way using webhooks or something that if someone responds to that offer or enticement or inducement to give their contact information first through that, is there a way to pull that into the ongoing chat widget that's just sitting there off to the side that is waiting to be used?
Not yet. Is that I mean, you could kind of do that, I guess, with Stammer. With instead of the in-chat lead collection, you could have that before the form before the chat starts.
And that was kind of my idea. That the only thing I'm thinking of is just from the standpoint of, slam the damn thing in their face to get them absolutely aware of it as fast and as soon as possible. But also for any entity in the niche that I'm going after, basically nobody uses any sort of opt-in lead form, anything. So to go from that not being on there right now to just all of a sudden popping up square in the middle of the page, my guess is I'll get a lot of resistance from that. But I thought of, offering it as something or telling people that, the thing you want to do, you want to capture somebody's info absolutely as fast as possible. And if I can blast them in the face with it and get them to agree to it with a opt-in form of some sort right in the middle of the page, as opposed to having something down on the lower right, it would just be another option. But it's not a big deal. So it was just a question that I had.
Got it.
Thank you.
Yeah. All righty. Well, I'm excited we got to show that to some of you. We've been working on this for quite a while, so excited to get it out for you guys.
I like it. It was cool. Thank you.
Awesome. All righty. Well, thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you guys next week.
Have a good 4th of July.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, bye.
Take care. Bye.